your question is really, why is aluminum not second?
Advances in technology illuminate new ways to educate, connect, and collaborate. But innovation comes with a big learning curve for both students and educators, as one freshman chemistry class at Case Western Reserve University experienced.
If you haven't finished chapters 1 and 2 yet, we're going to get through chapters 1 and 2 today.
The ups and downs of their journey were documented during the 2012 fall semester.
So when we started this semester, and the idea of inverting the classroom came up, it was really to take advantage of some of the new technologies that we'd recently installed. Those technologies allows me to pre-prepare lectures conveniently at home, at my office, wherever. It was intended as an experiment to see if we could do this in a large class. Many inverted classrooms are smaller classrooms, 100 students being one of the largest that I'd ever read about. And so I took it as a challenge to say, can I do it with 300 students?
What is there to not be open-minded about? It's just in life, if you're trying something new, there's an opportunity to fail, but there's also an opportunity to succeed.
I think it's an interesting idea. I know whenever I'm doing homework, I often feel I don't understand the concepts all that well because it's more of a practical application, which is usually when I feel I need more help from teachers. I feel it will probably work well with how I learn, but you know, we'll see.
An inverted classroom presents lecture material in online videos for the students to review before class sessions. Class time is used for problem solving and discussion, which is videotaped for students as well. How would all the technology work? How would a flipped classroom change the teaching and the learning experience?
We told the students on the first day we were trying an experiment. They were primed for an experiment. They didn't know what was going to happen. They knew that something was going to be different, and so they're evaluating that the whole time.
I think being in a flipped classroom will definitely show how you learn differently, and I think it'll help, help expose to you whether or not you absorbed what you needed to absorb from watching the video.
It's probably going to be more on me. I think more responsibility on my part, like at home, studying, doing what I need to do, copying the notes or whatever. Just him clarifying things in class.
Even with the best of intentions, transforming a regular lecture class into an inverted one in one semester was a work in progress.
Typically, I mean, it's 100% of lecture. This semester it was more like 35%. About a third of the classes were the flipped. 2/3 were still some kind of lecture.
The semester he did start off really strong as far as hands-on. We had the balloon experiment.
What's in it? We don't have a clue.
And we made the balloons explode, which was really cool.
My job is not to necessarily tell them all the answers, but help them learn how to find the answers. You test along the way, is this reasonable? Am I getting to where I want to go? Bottom line though is what matters is, do the students understand the material better?
I'm definitely walking away from the class with a different and I think better study skills because it complements what I already have with the take notes, look over notes. This is now learn on your own. So it forces you to be a little bit innovative, a little bit, experimental to see what works.
I think that if it would have been a true flipped classroom, I think it would have been a lot easier to kind of do the more mathematical side of chemistry.
I did like the days when we would just do problems, just a whole class period of doing problems because it gave me the practice I needed. Sometimes it would have been a little more beneficial to have a lecture at the beginning of the unit, like here's what it is, here's how you do it, now try it on your own.
The lessons learned by both the students and Professor Kenny were sometimes the unexpected ones.
In the beginning of the semester, when I first heard about the flipped classroom, I felt that the instructor wasn't really going to be there for us and we were all on our own, but going through this semester, I found out that it was actually the opposite because I've had multiple one-on-ones with Dr. Kenny and he actually told me what he expects from us as students and how to improve our grades.
I feel like I did learn the material, it's just a lot of it came from my own hand and my own work and spending hours reading and taking really extensive outlines on the textbook. I had to reason my way through it and that helped me build the skills to understand everything.
It was when I started to realize that I was missing on days when I didn't use an inverted technique that I realized that I need to do this all the time. It was on days when I didn't have the time, I didn't make the time to actually prepare. I felt I became a better teacher when I used it. If the students are engaged, if they're understanding it, if you're getting that deep understanding, that's what's important. We're not here to teach them a compendium of information. We're teaching them how to collect, analyze, and validate information.
I was pushed more to prepare for class, and that's one of the merits of flipped classroom. It forces students to take responsibility for their own education rather than waiting to have it spoon-fed.
I wasn't looking forward to it at all. Now, I thought the flipped classroom was a genius idea. From the beginning of the class to now where I'm at, my grades have improved very dramatically.
I've asked some harder questions. I've asked deeper understanding questions this year than I've been able to in the past. The biggest takeaways I have is that doing this style of teaching requires more preparation time on your part. The results you get in form of engagement with your students, understanding from your students, actively participating in the learning process, both you and the student, far outweigh the amount of time you invest up front.
I definitely think between doing all the homework, then doing similar problems again in class, I internalized everything a lot more. And I mean, I feel like chemistry is probably it's the one class I don't think I ever came close to falling asleep in on accident, just because I was so engaged the whole time.
There isn't a recipe to do this. Every individual is going to do it a little bit differently, and that's a good thing. But in the end, anything that makes me more passionate about what I do, anything that makes it so that I can reach more people, anything that enables a student to have a deeper understanding, I think is worth the time. And the inverted classroom has done that for me.